Supreme Court of India has to rule on the Prime Minister Modi's biggest move. This is the court judgment on demonetization. The 2016 note ban or note bandi move is facing scrutiny of the apex court in India. Constitution bench is assembled by the 5-judge bench led by Justice Abdul Nazir to deliver the verdict on the controversial move. The court is going to deliver the first day post its winter recess, the verdict on a batch of petitions. Anisha is tracking all of those developments very closely. Talk to us about the batch of petitions. There are going to be 2 judgments. Anisha, correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, this is the first judgment that is being pronounced right now. There are 2 opinions that are going to be pronounced at the moment as we speak. Justice B.R. Gavai of the Supreme Court is reading out his opinion on the demonetization case. Now, remember, this is a very, very crucial question that is before the Supreme Court. Not only whether the demonetization decision of 2016 was correct, but also if it was correct or incorrect, what are the steps that the court can take at this stage. Now, we are being told that 2 separate opinions will be pronounced at this moment as we speak. Justice Gavai is pronouncing his opinion. What is being said at the moment is he's reading out the questions that have been framed by the Supreme Court, where the 6 questions have been framed by the Supreme Court to consider the various issues involved in the matter, whether the power of the centre can be restricted to any series of notes under the Section 26 of the RBI Act, whether the power of the centre amounts to excessive legislation, whether the period provided for exchange of notes was correct or not, whether the notification, the demonetization notification itself is can be struck down or not. Now, the court is looking into all of these issues. Now, remember, this is a 5-judge bench verdict. There were a lot of issues raised. The petitioners had raised the allegation. The petitioners had raised the allegation that the demonetization decision was arbitrary, that the RBI rules and the procedure was not followed, whereas the centre, on the other hand, had argued that all rules and procedures were in fact followed. The court had also asked the RBI and the government to give details of what the process was, whether the quorum of the RBI Central Board, that is, if a decision for demonetization was taken by the RBI, then who exactly took this decision, how many people were present at that meeting. Now, as we speak, Justice Gavai is reading out his opinion. He's citing previous judgments also, and as we speak, he is pronouncing his verdict. What Justice Gavai is saying as we speak is that the central government was required to take recommendation of the RBI before taking such a decision as far as demonetization is concerned. So this is an important point that the court is making, that judicial interference is limited, but the government was expected to take the recommendation of the RBI. But as I will repeat again, the judgment is still being pronounced. At this moment, my colleagues Kanu and Shrishti are inside the courtroom. Sanjay Sharma is also inside the courtroom bringing us detailed updates. I'm also connected to the online proceedings of the Supreme Court, and Justice Gavai is reading out his opinion on all 6 questions of law that have been framed. Now, remember, this is going to be a very crucially nuanced verdict that will come from the Supreme Court, for the simple reason that this is going to have huge ramifications politically as well as policy-wise. The court is saying that the judiciary cannot supplant or supplement its own views for that of the government, that it can, however, scrutinize the records. But as we speak, Justice Gavai is still speaking out. He is still reading out his opinion on this particular matter, and we will have the final verdict, what exactly has been said by the court. We will update very, very soon, as the judge is still reading out his detailed opinion on various questions of law. He is saying that the RBI does have the primary role, that the government should have consulted the RBI Central Board before making such a decision.